Peace fam, I'm the Rap Griot and this is Rap Griot Reacts, where you get my take on some of our hottest posts on Instagram and what some of our griots have to say. So I'll go through their comments. If you don't know, a griot is an ancient African word that represents the oral keepers of the history. It's actually of French origin, so the proper terminology is griot, but I call it griot because I'm hip hop, we remix stuff, and at the end of the day, we don't pay no homage or care about the French who colonized most of the motherland. So this is it, let's get to it. Our first post was actually a collaboration post between me and Jada. Shout out to Jada. This post was posted on January 2nd. We got like 1.2 million views almost already. So it was a good post. It was about the mayor of New York City, Mayor Mamdani, the new mayor. He quoted Jada during his inauguration, so I'm gonna let it rip.
And throughout it all, we will, in the words of Jason Terrence Phillips, better known as Jada or J to the moi, be outside. Because this is a government of New York, by New York, and for New York.
So that was the post. That was Mamdani. We dropped that post the day after Election Day, January 2nd, which is about 8 days ago from this recording. So let's get into the first griot, see what they got to say. So first up, we got Pretty Real. Peace. Shout out to Pretty Real. Thanks for the comment. She got actually 2,576 likes on the comment. So obviously, you know, we're stirring something that resonated with people. This is what she had to say. I didn't even know Jada's whole name. This is out of order, with a bunch of smiley faces. Yeah, that was wild. A lot of people was going in the comments. I seen at least 10 comments where people was just like, yo, man, he calling Jada by his government. People was bugging off of that. So that was something that was dope. You know, that was something that definitely a lot of people thought of. I laughed at it myself. I did know his name, of course. You know, I come from the old school. I'm from the old Brooklyn. I come from back in the days, tapes where we read the liners, look inside, see who produced the beat, see all the tracks, know dude's name. So I knew the name. Yeah, it was funny to see him call him out by his name. Yeah, so shout out to Pretty Real. She definitely had a lot of people that was, you know, riding with her on that. That's why she had 2,500 likes. Thanks for commenting once again. Appreciate you. Next griot up, we had Theory is Everything. Shout out to Theories. Peace, fam. So he said, Yonkers is very proud. Got the salute emojis up there. Actual fact, most definitely. Yonkers is definitely proud. For those who don't know, you know, there was a time when hip hop was really a thing in the 5 boroughs. It wasn't really popping in Yonkers, but we definitely had a lot of success stories coming out of Yonkers. Some of the greats, DMX, RIP, and of course the Lock. So yeah, Yonkers is very proud. What's wild about this though is that the mayor of New York City quoted him. And technically, for those who know, you know, if you ain't part of the city, the 5 boroughs, you might not know if you're from a different state, but Yonkers is not a part of the 5 boroughs. You know, we definitely, they right next door. They right on top of the Bronx. So we rock with them heavy, but technically they're not a part of the city, but it's the same energy up there. You can still get your head popped off. You still got the same raw energy. That's why you see the Locks and what they doing. That's why you see 50 Cent told y'all back in the days, all the other hard ends, they come from Yonkers. You know, even though he tried to claim he was talking about DMX later on, but we know DMX was for Yonkers as well. So Yonkers is like any other hood in the country. They go through their same struggles, and you know, it's real out there. And you know, so yeah, so Yonkers is definitely proud to see, you know, Jada get bigged up. And you know, I thought it was dope, man. Yeah, the fact that the mayor tossed his name out there, you know, I thought of the Biggie line, you know, we never thought that hip hop would take it this far. You know, not that we need to be validated by the mayor. And, you know, for all we know, he could be just another politician blowing smoke up, you know, where the smoke go. But, you know, it was still good just to see on that level that somebody mentioned him. You know, and for those that don't know, I did another video about Mamdani. Mamdani actually used to rap. His skills was dirt. Don't get it twisted. He was rapping, but he was dirt. But he do come from that background, you know. So yeah, so it was good to see him. You know, we know Yonkers is proud of Jada. Peace to Jada once again. Keep doing your thing, rocking out with the Joe and Jada. Keep Fat Joe in control, because we know he be capping. We know he be out of control. So yeah, you got to keep throwing them flags on him. All right, so let's get to the next griot. So the next griot up is Dr. Catrice Austin. Shout out Catrice, peace. So she said, just secure a spot on the Joe and Jada show with the smiling emoji. Yeah, so I guess she meant just secure it, so that she's saying, the mayor shouted out Jada through that alley-oop. He just landed him a spot on the show. It's crazy, because you don't know. He might just well pop up on the show. I'm pretty sure that Jada, has some type of interaction with him. I heard some stories that he was rocking out at a show with Jada or some club or something before, because like I said, the mayor, he do rock with hip hop. We see he came out, on his election day to Ja Rule, New York song, taking shots at 50 because 50 had talking about he was going to lead the city if the mayor got elected because he was going to push up the taxes on dudes that was getting bread. So yeah, so we know the mayor do rock out, but yeah, he just may end up on the show. That'll be dope, man. We'll see how that would go. I'm not always necessarily interested in seeing politicians being interviewed by rappers like they or in the hip hop space, like you see a lot of them come through Breakfast Club kissing ass before they get elected and stuff. But I like to see him come through, being that he do got a hip hop background. We'll see how thorough he is, and give him the hard questions, man. Because I know Jada and them, hopefully, if he do come through, they keep it funky. So let's get to the next griot. So the next up is Jeremy is Grown. So he got his post got 213 likes. It got 68 replies. So it was a lot of, he stirred up a lot of thought, a lot of engagement. So let's see what he had to say. He says, symbolism is all Black people need. No tangles or laws passed for Black people. I guess he meant tangibles. No tangibles or laws passed for Black people because validation and symbolism will get the Black vote every time. Every other community gets actual policies and financial help, but not Black people. Peace, Jeremy. He got some valid points. We know how it is. Politicians come around every 4 years, whenever it is election times or midterms. They pander to you. They tell you all the BS. Most time they blowing smoke up your ass. They not giving you no legitimate road to the success. I think Mamdani, he did toss out some policies, but the things with politics anyway, they always say what they're going to do. But when you get in the office, even if you got good intentions, it just might not be like that because you're dealing with legislators. The mayor, he's the head of the legislature, but he don't make the laws. He can enact certain policies, but we got state legislators. You got New York City legislature. So yeah, so we'll see. Like I said, man, I ain't got no real trust in politicians. But yeah, man, it is sad though that, a lot of times all it takes is a wink and a nod, or you see somebody up there that look not even necessarily Black or quote unquote African American or FBA, but just somebody that's not white for you to get amped up and think it's going to be some motion. So like I said, I don't know, I don't know nothing about homie, but what he put out there, which all politicians put out what they want you to see. So we'll see what happens, man. He gonna get his shot. Hopefully, if he don't come through, he get his feet put to the fire. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so Jeremy, peace. Thanks for the comment. It was definitely a good joint. Like I said, stirred up some engagement. 68 replies, 213 likes. If y'all want to check that, go to that post. I ain't got time to go through all of those 68 replies. But yeah, check through that, see what's good. So let's get to the next griot. So the next up is Soraya Santana. Peace, Soraya. So she had 35 likes and 3 replies. So she said the last mayor was outside smoking hookah every weekend. This one is a rapper, LOL. NYC is such a wonderful place. LOL. Laughing my ass out loud. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, if y'all don't know, the last mayor. Yeah, they did. They had him all up in the newspapers, said he was blowing hookah at a lounge in Brooklyn. I forget where it was at. So yeah, it was wild. New York is a different type of energy, man. I love the city, man. I got a love-hate relationship because I done been put through a lot, coming from where I come up. And like I said, I came up in the old Brooklyn where it was real. I was in the streets, so I've been through a lot. But you gotta love the city. It's a lot of crazy energy. You never know what you're gonna see, man. That's the illest thing about New York. You can walk down the street, you see people from all over the world. You see people look like they from outer space. So yeah, so the mayor was blowing hookah, man. Now we got a mayor quoting Jada Kiss, in his inauguration, and walking out the Ja Rule on election day. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, shout out to Soraya though. Thanks for the comment. Peace. Let's get to the next griot. So the next one, which is our final one, I ain't gonna drag y'all head off. Like I said, y'all can go check the post on the page. It's still up. It's still on Jada Kiss page. It was, like I said, it was a collaboration post. But the last griot we got is Righteous State of Mind. So his got a whole lot of likes. He got 514 likes. He got 9 replies. So he said he actually recently visited a Jada concert and was backstage with most of the artists. They love him for New York. And for those who don't, Florida's waiting. Then he put the smile emoji, laughing emoji. Yeah, so that's a fact. So I knew I saw somewhere that I seen somewhere else too as well. Somebody said he was rocking out at a Jada concert, which is crazy, man. So that means Jada's probably tapped in with him already. So yeah, we'll see. He might end up on the show, man, like the last griot said. But yeah, for those, he said, so Righteous said, for those who don't love him, Florida's waiting. Like y'all could take it down to Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of people that migrated to Florida. I'm from BK, but I don't rest in BK no more. I'm out in the A. I had to switch up, get a little space. But yeah, so that's a dope nod though. Somebody that has some insight said that he was at the concert with Jada rocking out backstage with a bunch of the artists. So yeah, so we'll see what this mayor do, man. We don't know. Like I said, to give him a shot, and if he don't, then you gotta do what you do. You gotta hold his feet to the fire. Gotta put the pressure on him, get out there, whatever, man. Mobilize and do whatever it takes to get in his face. See if you can push him in the right direction. If he don't, do what need to be do. Get down and lay down. Push him out. He dead next go round. Make sure he don't get back in office, and that's that. But at the end of the day, politics is cool, but we got to get out here and do ourselves, man. We got to put the work in. We can't depend on nobody, man. But people is what really control. We got to regulate what we can ourselves. Obviously, there's certain things that is beyond our scope, so we do have to use some politics. But for the most part, we got to get our shit together and do what we supposed to do. So I ain't gonna hold your head. Like I said, first episode, Rap Griot Reacts. Check out the page. We on Instagram. We on Twitter. We on X. We on Facebook. We on YouTube. We on Threads. We everywhere. We moving, pushing. We got 70,000, close to 70,000 followers. Probably had that today. We got everybody checking in with us, man, rocking out with us. You never know who you're gonna see. You might see Mike Epps in the comments. You might see Godfrey making the comments. 50 be in the comments. So you never know who be in the comments at Rap Griot, man. Come check us out. It's Rap Griot. Peace.